Ladies and gentlemen, dreamers and doers, entrepreneurs of all ages, welcome back to Building an Empire. In today's episode, we are going to be talking about where to start when it comes to starting your own business or starting a startup company. And I wish it were as easy as if you were just sitting on the couch one day, a fly would come down, bite you on the arm, and suddenly you have this bug for entrepreneurship and you start to say, okay, awesome, I'm gonna hop up, I'm gonna log on to the Secretary of State for my state right now, I'm gonna incorporate Type C, and I'm gonna get my EIN, and we're gonna do all this good stuff, I'm gonna have a company, and I'm gonna make a bunch of money. Well, it's not that easy, I'm afraid. But in lieu of a magical fly that comes down and bites you and gives you the entrepreneur bug, what is involved in finding out what it is you enjoy doing and how to monetize it? Well, we just asked those two very questions that we need to answer. What is it that you enjoy doing, and how do you make money while doing it? And chances are, to start, a lot of the things that you do as a hobby can sometimes be monetized. And what I mean there is that if you enjoy drawing, like you're an artist, you can turn that into a monetized business. You can sell your art by all means. If you like programming, God bless you, we're in the same boat. I'm a programmer myself. But you can program websites and program games and program apps, and those can make you money too. And if you're a gamer, you can obviously get a Twitch stream or a YouTube gaming channel, and you can throw on your camera and say some funny stuff, and suddenly the hours that you spend playing video games now turn into a source of income if you work hard enough at it. So take a second, do some inventory, and think about what you enjoy doing. Are you an artist? Are you a gamer? Are you a programmer? Are you a musician? Are you a guy who likes to mow grass? Even grass mowers can open their own business and start a landscaping company and go mow lawns and make a decent buck while doing it. So what is it that you really enjoy doing? Take a second to think about that. Pause the video if you have to. And once you have kind of an idea, we'll go into the next question, which is, how do you make that into something you can monetize? Or how can you make money doing the things that you enjoy? Well, let's take a couple examples. So I mentioned drawing earlier. If you're an artist, you can create art or create commissioned art, and the hours that you spend plus the materials that are required become your profit. So you would charge for your labor as an artist. You're a skilled laborer, and so you can charge by the hour for what you do, or you can charge a flat rate. You'll need to cover some of the materials costs, so you'll have to make money to cover that, and you can roll that into the costs. So yeah, you're just turning those hours that you would normally be doing something with drawing or art, and you're monetizing them by doing commissions or making art for other people or art that you can sell. If you're a programmer, it's kind of the same story. So you can bill by the hour for the work that you do, or you can charge a flat rate for like a website or an app or something like that. If you're a gamer, obviously you get paid by stream supporters and donations and stuff like that. So whatever it is that you enjoy doing, take a second to kind of think about how you can monetize it. Some good jumping off points are, of course, your time. Time is money, as they say. In fact, we're going to do a whole episode on that. I think it's going to be the next episode in this series. But inevitably, your time has value, and you can assign whatever value you want to your time, especially if you're like skilled at what you do. So if you're a very good artist and your art is in demand, you can charge more for that, and you can charge a certain amount every hour that you draw. So billing by the hour or billing by labor is a good way to monetize. Your product is obviously also a key selling point, a good or a service that you offer. Well, I think a service would fall under the first category, but say you're manufacturing, all right, art, it all comes back to art. So you're manufacturing art, you sell that art, that is a product that you're selling. If you're a streamer, you can make merchandise and you can sell that product for a profit or a gain, and then once you deduct expenses, you have profit. So there's products, there's time, there are so many other things that you can monetize on. So really look at what you enjoy doing, and you kind of have to have the eye of an entrepreneur. Entrepreneurs are always thinking about, how can I maximize my productivity in this moment? Or how can I make this time that I'm spending on this into some sort of cash flow? Or how can I make money doing what I do every day? So think a little bit, get a little bit creative. Think about how you can make a little bit of extra guac with whatever it is you're doing. And the more creative, the better, because chances are if you get creative on something, you're going to have a pretty solid foundation or something that other people haven't thought of, and that's where money really starts to flow. But we'll get to that in a second. So we have kind of an idea of what you like doing, and we have kind of an idea how to monetize it. So now we need to do a little bit of market research. Now, market research is just a big fancy term, which means that you look at the market that you are trying to burst into or get into, and you figure out what it's all about. So a couple questions you want to ask when it comes to market research. First is what you enjoy doing a thing that is in demand? So just as easily as we say, hey, I enjoy doing this and I could possibly make money doing this by doing X, Y, and Z, is that service or is that good that you are producing in demand? Because you need a demand for you to sell a product. That's the law of economic supply and demand. So look at it, and chances are if you are doing some kind of labor or some kind of service, then yeah, it's probably in demand. So there's a ton of demand right now for streamers. Obviously, Twitch is a platform with thousands of people that log on and stream every day, and there's some money to be made there. There's a demand for people to stream video games because people enjoy watching people play video games. When it comes to art, if you create a piece of art or you showcase a piece of art and people say, wow, that's so cool, can you make one for me? Congratulations, you have a demand. You are now an in-demand artist, and your product, your art, and the labor that you use to create that product are items that are in demand. If you are mowing lawns and you do a really good job mowing your parents' lawn and somebody walks by and says, dang, that's a nice lawn that you mowed there. Can you mow my lawn? Congratulations, you have a market demand. So see how that works? You just have to find if people are buying what you're selling. That's the one big rule of business. If you can figure that out, then you're well on your way. So is what you enjoy doing a thing that is in demand? That's question number one. The next three questions are kind of clumped together. So in the same realm of thinking, if the thing that you're doing is in demand, who else is doing it? This is what you call your competition. So in the gamer world, like I said, there's thousands of streamers on Twitch every day, so you are competing with a market of thousands of other providers. You have competition in every other streamer that turns on their camera and plays a game. So that's not a bad thing. Competition actually drives the free market. People are constantly wanting more and getting more and more competitive with their offerings, and obviously the consumer benefits. So if you're buying a product, let's say you get the new iPhone XS, then the reason that Apple is innovating on that is because they want to remain relevant and they have competition from their other brands. So if they don't innovate, then they're going to fall on the wayside and they're not going to make money. So competition is healthy. Don't think competition is a bad thing. It's just an obstacle to overcome when it comes to business. Secondly, who else is doing what you're doing? That's what we just asked. How well are they doing it, or what are they doing well? So you look at a streamer like Ninja or Dr. Disrespect or Nadeshot. What do they do that is really, really cool? Like, why do people come and watch their streams over and over again? If you're looking to open a mowing business, what are your opponents, or what is the other guy doing? Are they just trimming hedges? Are they mowing lawns? Are they cutting corners? What are they doing very, very well? And then if you're doing art, obviously you're competing with every other artist out there. So what are other artists good at? So some artists are really good at photorealism. Some artists are good with a certain medium. Some artists are good with digital art. Some artists are good with traditional art. What are your competitors doing really well at? So we understand where's your heart? I have to read my show notes here, bear with me. Who else is doing what you're doing, and what are they doing well? The third question, the final one in this group of three, is what are they not doing well, or what could they do better? Now this is a big one, because this is going to lead into a bigger point, which we're just about to get to in a second. So we know who else is doing what you're doing, we know what they're doing well, but oftentimes finding out what they're not doing well is the key to finding how you can be different. So like I said in the mowing example, if you're mowing grass and you notice the guy across the way is just cutting corners, that's something that they're missing. Or that's something that you can capitalize on. When it comes to streams, you may play obscure games or games that aren't normally streamed mainstream, but may have an audience that's kind of like a cult following or something like that. Or maybe you can't break into the first-person shooter market or the first-person shooter stream scene, but maybe you can get in on like RTSs or something like that. So where is the market lacking? Where is the competition lacking? And where can you capitalize on that? So this leads me into my next point, and if you're thinking ahead, good for you. Let's see if we line up. So who else is doing what you're doing? How are they doing it well? And what can they do better? The third one is the important question here, because from the third question, you can figure out how can you do what they're doing not so good or not so well. How can you do that better? And that's what you call a differentiator, or a market differentiator. So inevitably, like I said, there's thousands of streamers on Twitch. How are you going to be different? What games are you going to stream? What content are you going to create that is different from the thousands of other Twitch streamers out there? If you're mowing grass, what extra services or what extra detail or what thing are you paying attention to that the competition isn't that'll make people want to sign up for your service as opposed to other people? If you're an artist, are you really, really good with one medium that another artist may not be? Or do you have more of a traditional style? Is your style way different? Or are people after your look or your aesthetic? Then yeah, that's your market differentiator. People don't buy a service because it's so like other services. They buy a service because it's different from the other ones. So if I'm gonna go spend my time and watch a streamer, I wanna make sure that I'm watching the streamer that is most entertaining to me. I don't wanna watch the same streamer streaming the same game that every other streamer is streaming. I wanna watch something different sometimes. So you get what I'm feeling? Differentiation is where people put their money. People wanna buy something new, they wanna buy something different, they wanna buy something better. So it really boils down to these 5 questions, but inevitably what we're trying to arrive at is your differentiator. How can you do something better? So looking at these 5 questions, and I'll review here, is what you enjoy doing a thing that is in demand? That was question number 1. Who else is doing what you're doing? What are they doing well? And what are they doing not so well? Those are the 2, 3, and 4. And lastly, how can you do what they're not doing better? Or what can you capitalize on that they're not capitalizing on? So the middle 3 questions here are what we call market research. And at the very outset, at the very 50,000 foot base level, market research is those 3 questions. Who's doing it? What are they doing well? What are they not doing well? And obviously, if you work in a bigger company, there are people who work just day and night doing market research into the competition and stuff like that. But when you ask those questions and you do that research, that's where you discover your market opportunity, which is what the top and bottommost questions are. So is what you enjoy doing a thing that is in demand, and how can you do it better than everybody else? Those create what are called a market opportunity, but you can't have those until you answer the middle 3 questions. So it all wraps into like a big burrito of market research and market opportunity discovery. So that was a lot. I realize I went through a couple things very, very quickly, so feel free to watch over the video a couple times if you need to, and if you have any questions, feel free to leave them down in the comments below. And I'd love it if you guys can leave a like if you liked the video. If you didn't like the video, leave a dislike, that's totally fine too. And if you want to continue following this series, make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the little bell icon so you get a notification. That'll wrap up today's video, and I'll finish up in the normal way, and that's by me saying, always remember, friends, to keep moving and stay positive. Till next time.